Perhaps I was being generous.
Yeah, she game passed.
All part of the show, folks. Skyrocket! Huh?
Bro, huh?
Do you know the difference between you and I?
Well, I think the difference is... presentation! And I know a trick when I see one.
What did she just do?
Blackcrosses, 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 crosses, Blackcrosses, team nauseous, team nauseous.
This episode is sponsored by The Northman and BetterHelp.
Send forth to Mark Tier ISS. Been a long time coming, Mr. We ain't letting this slide.
The Scarlet Witch,
No,
Marvel's
or
crazy
you've been on
queen
different
of
time
chaos.
recently, bro.
Zatanna, DC's magnificent mistress of magic.
There are those who wield the mystic arts like gods to
I told
reshape
you on
creation to their
Monday.
whims.
And there
Yeah, I
are those
remember
who
you
just
told me
like
on
to
Monday.
put on a hell of a show. Either way, don't mess with them if you know what's good for you. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Though we may drift day by day in a world seemingly concrete and eternal, the fabric of reality is.
I don't know
in
much
fact
about
more
Zatanna,
delicate
but I
than
know
we
Scarlet
might
Witch is
dare
pretty
to
broken,
wonder.
so-
Imagine every single iota of it, every star, galaxy, universe,
I'm guessing
all
that she's
within the
probably gonna win
grasp
this.
of a single mortal woman to control at her whim. Imagine the danger we're all in if you piss her off.
We don't have to, because her name is Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. As a kid, she and her brother Pietro were poor Romani.
Her middle name is Django. Teams, Avengers, Force Works, Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. It's coffee, chamomile tea, falconry vision, not Magneto's daughter, surprise. Not a mutant, surprise. Again, really?
Who were lucky enough to be turned into super-powered freaks by the High
Not a
Evolutionary.
mutant?
Unable to control her apparently new magical abilities, it wasn't long before Wanda lost control and was branded a witch.
Until who would show up but the mutant master of magnetism himself, Magneto. Definitely giving off some big dad energy there.
So, to return Magneto's kindness, she and Pietro joined his Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Great name there,
Move to
Magneto.
the
Solid
BBC
branding.
side.
And it wasn't long before she traded her supervillain creds for a membership with the Avengers, which might have been a bit too much for poor Wanda because she definitely drew the superpower short stick.
By waving her hands, Wanda could create small random events known as hexes, subtly altering the probability of any event happening.
That's a cool way of saying she could do like one magic-y thing per fight and then be totally useless. An energy blast here, some telekinesis there, a force field if she's feeling frisky. Not exactly the same oomph as, say, the God of Thunder or the Jolly Green Worldbreaker.
But something strange was happening. Over time, her hexes increased in breadth and
What I
power,
miss?
as though there was more to Wanda's
Right on
powers
time,
than
bro.
met the
Right on
eye.
time.
She learned to slow and stop time, drain and absorb energy, duplicate herself and others, teleport to different dimensions, and even strip others of their powers entirely.
It was almost as if there was more to Wanda than just being some random science experiment. Let's ask our resident expert on the deepest trenches of character history. Jocelyn, if you will.
In reality, Wanda's powers weren't entirely the result of the High Evolutionary, nor was she the mutant daughter of Magneto, as he's claimed. Her powers weren't just some simple hexes. She might as well have been a god. Until now, she had merely been dipping her toes into the vast ocean known as chaos magic. Though her powers may have seemed to be the byproduct of science, they were in reality the gift of the Lovecraftian elder god Cthon, who attempted to turn Wanda into his future vessel.
Reminds me of my summers by the sea.
Wait a
with old
minute.
Uncle
I just realized. Where's the other guy? I know the guy on the left is Boomstick. Where's the other dude? Who's this girl? Did they replace her? He there? Or did I not see it? Did I listen?
In time, Wanda discovered she could alter the probability of anything she could think of, turning a mathematical impossibility into an absolute certainty, and vice versa. Wanda's powers kept growing and growing, turning her into a being strong enough to rival even the mightiest of gods. Like, literally, Wanda's chaos magic is counterpart to the Phoenix Force, the embodiment of cosmic order.
That's
you know,
broken.
that fiery space chicken that can destroy the universe? Wanda fought it, and even briefly erased it from existence.
At her height, the Scarlet Witch achieved total control over energy, the weather, the
Chaos magic, astral projection, dimensional travel, elemental energy attacks, energy absorption, sensory perception, flight and levitation, illusionary magics, matter manipulation, mind and soul manipulation, power nullification, probability manipulation, protective barriers, reality warping, various spells of incalculable potential, connection to the life force, increases powers at cost of sanity.
The elements, your mind, your body, your soul, all of time, all of matter, and all of reality. She can wipe you from existence with a thought and rend the very fabric of the universe as though it were tissue paper.
She isn't even limited to chaos magic either. They might not have been what made her a god, but the High Evolutionary's experiments did make her more receptive to channeling magical energy. Oh, maybe that's why Mama Boomstick always warned me about redheads.
She's so receptive, in fact, that Wanda is the lone nexus being of the 616 reality, a focal point for the universe's magical energies, and one that belongs equally to all other timelines.
It's no wonder she was considered a candidate for Sorcerer Supreme. I mean, shit, why wasn't she? She might as well be a walking, talking Infinity Gauntlet.
Well, she may have the power of a god, but she's still stuck with a human's body that can be overpowered by physically stronger foes. Though, she also survived being shot with a black matter bullet capable of, and I quote, world-shattering energy. So there's that.
She does technically need to be able to think of a spell in order to get it to happen, so she could theoretically be blitzed, but she's also blocked Thor's galaxy-crossing hammer, kept up with dudes like
This is the universe, matching the race of Phoenix Force, top candidate for the Sorcerer Supreme, wove her magic through all of existence, create a hole through the walls of causality, unstuck herself and Quicksilver from time, eliminated the mutant gene throughout the Omniverse, defeated Magneto, Dormammu, Red Onslaught, Dark Phoenix, and something else.
X-Man who can fight within plank time and even amp her own speed beyond the concept of speed.
It's weird
herself.
though. Why?
Despite being far and
Scarlet
away
Witch
the
isn't
mightiest
like
among Earth's mightiest heroes,
how come
Wanda
Scarlet Witch isn't
resented the
like
pressure
I
of
don't
her
know.
incredible power. She actually wanted a quiet life as a wife and a mother.
But because
Why is Scarlet Witch not like like acclaimed like in the Marvel like in the MCU like other heroes and shit usually? You know, I feel like she don't get like enough like praise or whatever. Am I the one who thinks that, or am I like just I don't honestly look? I didn't realize she was actually just broken. If we're being real, I feel like she could. I mean, she definitely could have soloed. She definitely could solo Thanos based off of her fucking power and shit. And she kept me and she was actually working Thanos. She was working Thanos. I ain't gonna lie to you, she was working Thanos, but you know, the movie's got a movie and shit. So yeah, she was dead. Yeah, she was literally working at Thanos. Yeah.
Because no one in comics is allowed to have a happily ever after,
They
that
got
life was taken from
heroes
her by literal Satan.
MCU.
Not the last time he'd do this too. Wanda snapped and she took the multiverse with her.
By tapping into an inconceivable and unknowable pool of energy known as the Life Force, Wanda rewrote all of reality, creating a new universe where life was just how she wanted it.
No matter whose lives she had to change. In this House of M, she had her family back, but at the cost of her sanity.
And it wasn't long before it all came crashing down around her. Once her family and friends discovered the lie of their new lives and turned against her, she uttered 3 fateful words and erased nearly all of mutant kind. No more mutants.
Wanda weaved her magic throughout all of existence, created cracks across reality which spread throughout the Omniverse, and threatened to annihilate all of creation, the entirety of Marvel's infinite cosmology. Everything that ever was.
Shit got dark, and while Wanda has worked to keep her powers in check since then, that threat is always there. But honestly, that sounds more like a problem for anyone who's stupid enough to get in her way.
Both a blessing and a curse, a help and a hex. Such is the true power of the Scarlet Witch.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by the Northmen.
Remind me why you need to be holding a god-slaying axe to watch a movie trailer.
Weapons of cosmic destruction center me, Wiz. And this movie's gonna be so friggin' awesome, I needed something to match the occasion.
From visionary director Robert Eggers comes The Northman, an action-packed epic with a legendary cast of stars
Dr. Strange,
including
oh my god,
Alexander
please.
Skarsgård, Nicole.
Bro, I don't want to talk about that. Bro, that whole scene, it was so Mickey. That was so fucking Mickey, bro. Oh my god. Bro, they made Doctor Strange look like a complete bitch, bro. They made Doctor Strange, mind you, the man, bro, this man used to be the controller of the Time Stone. He can go through multiple multiverses and bend reality and shit. And somehow Spider-Man manages to catch him in his own web, in his own universe. And yeah, that was just horrible writing on their part. I don't get how that happens. But
Kidman, Anya Taylor-Joy, Willem Dafoe, Ethan Hawke, and Bjork.
Willem Dafoe and Bjork speaking threatening prophecies in my dreams happens like every Tuesday night for me, so this is definitely my kind of flick.
It's an action-packed epic that follows a young Viking prince on a quest to avenge his father.
Like a Viking version of Hamlet, but this prince is very much in the not-to-be camp when it comes to the poor souls that decide to cross him. See, Wiz, it really is Shakespearean. Man, that was so cool.
You can see the care and research in every frame.
He's
It might be
Matthew
the most
Wizard.
authentic Viking film of all time.
The action,
Oh
the
my
adventure, that slick cinematography. I gotta see this on the
MCU,
big
bro.
screen right now. Go see The Northman exclusively in theaters April 22nd. That'll grow back, right?
Come one, come all, to see the magnificent Zatanna Zatara. For never was there a greater professor of prestidigital performance.
AKA magic! Except Zatanna's spells aren't just smoke and mirror.
the Mistress of Magic, Princess of Prestidigitation, Justice League of America, Justice League Dark, and Symbols of Magic, Descendant of Leonardo da Vinci. Alessandro Calicastro.
They're the real deal, so you're really getting your money's worth.
She learned everything she knew from her father, Giovanni Zatara, who put his powers to good use as one of DC's very first superheroes.
No joke, he's the guy who taught Batman everything he knows about escape artistry. He debuted the same issue as Superman, and the young Zatanna was more than happy to serve as his assistant, learning everything he knew about the cutthroat world of entertainment. Oh, and Cape Ship too, but the former is way worse.
She inherited her father's incredible mystical abilities as well. Essentially, anything Zatanna thinks of, she can make real. And she focuses this absurdly powerful ability by speaking her desired effect backwards. Her father based this technique on the diaries of Leonardo da Vinci, who some theorize wrote backwards in order to hide his ideas from the repressive medieval Catholic Church.
Or because he was left-handed.
Yeah, that's another theory, if you hate fun.
And Zatanna's apparently big-brained enough that she has no problem speaking backwards at the drop of a hat. Like when this one dude kept reversing time in the middle of her sentences, she started speaking in palindromes so that she'd still be speaking backwards no matter what. I mean, you know what they say, Wiz? Go hang a salami, I'm a lasagna hog.
With her magic, Zatanna has bent the laws of reality to her whims. She's transmuted matter on an atomic level, teleported across dimensions, commanded the elements, turned invisible, removed powers, cast illusions, read and controlled minds, traveled through and stopped time, and can even wipe people from existence with a single word.
It might not seem obvious from that hokey magic castle.
So how come I never seen this like hero like anywhere in or I mean not DC universe, I mean DCCU. Yeah, the DCCU. That's how you say it. She's one of the Batman movies? She is? Which one? She's making the worst.
Get up, but Zatanna is one of the most powerful sorcerers in DC.
Anything,
like the
bro.
time she battled the Time Tailor Zor, an old enemy of the Spectre.
Hey chat. So they say that anything she thinks of becomes reality, right? So let's say you get lucky. Let's say you're lucky, you know, to somehow get with Zatanna, you know what I mean? And y'all in the room and everything about go crazy, and she thinks of something, and next thing you know, like y'all remember that one scene from Boondocks, you know, in the showers? Yeah, what would you want that type of time in after that? You know what I mean? Like, what would that happen? That'd be kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You know,
I'm
the
just
angel
saying.
of God's divine wrath.
In order to defeat an opponent of such unimaginable power,
She's in
Zatanna
Justice League
focused
Dark?
her magical might into shattering the boundaries of reality. She reached out beyond the very comic panels themselves and pulled Zor's entire magical universe down around him. She literally handled all of reality like it was a sheet of paper and crumpled
Zatanna
it in
just
her
speaks
hands.
backwards and you
That
got a
might
bussy out of
seem
nowhere.
completely incomprehensibly
Yo.
impossible to us, but it's all a matter of belief. Literally, as long as Zatanna believes she can do something with her magic, she'll do it.
As she puts
That
it,
was
her
on the
magic
cover,
is
so I thought
essentially
that was-
asserting one reality, then replacing it
Oh,
with
so
another.
this
This
is
is
just
similar
a
to
movie.
other magical characters like Dr. Fate and Green Lantern, whose powers have been stated to work the exact same way.
But it's not like any rando can do magic by wishing on a star. Zatanna is genetically predisposed to this kind of magical reality warping. Her mom was in actuality a Homo Magi, a subrace of humans that are naturally adept at magic.
So it's no wonder that Zatanna became an invaluable member of both the Justice League of America and Justice League Dark. The Shadow the Hedgehog version, basically.
Zatanna harnessed an entire year's worth of sunlight into a single energy blast, created ruptures across all of space and time throughout the DC multiverse, and has even claimed she's as powerful as Superman himself. Pre-Crisis Superman, in case you were wondering. Her only limit is her imagination and will. In fact, her backward speaking is mostly a stagecraft tradition meant to boost her concentration.
In a pinch, she can cast a spell with a single thought, and I doubt anyone's winning a quick draw with her. She's matched superheroes like Martian Manhunter, who scanned every mind on Earth in a blank instant. Or how about Dr. Fate, whose magic traveled across the universe at the completely immeasurable velocity of God.
Zatanna has fended off countless reality-shattering threats like the Eldritch Upside.
Back Pralea personification. Covered the moon in an ocean. Pulled on a magical universe structured in power space. Several supernatural hunters and sandmen. Somehow puts on Constantine's feet. Zor, Lobo, Allura, Jelly.
Upside-down man, primordial darkness that is evil incarnate, and the void beyond creation, Pralaya.
This shadow goop lady ate all of DC Comics, all of creation, everything. Gods, demons, rabbits, and spandex, everything. And Zatanna's magic was strong enough to hold her back.
And then, after secretly implanting Swamp Thing inside Pralaya, she weaved a spell within him to literally regrow all of reality back in seconds.
Zatanna
Not trying
tricked
to
a
lie, I
being
thought
older
about
than
what if
God,
you are in
and
the
then
room in
blew
her
her
and
ass
about to
up
go
from the
crazy,
inside.
then she turns into a big buff snigger. What you doing?
Ha ha ha. I can only go one or two ways. It's either you the quarterback or you the receiver. And you don't want to be the receiver. That's all I'll say.
With a whole new omniverse. Abraca goddamn Dabra.
Such is the almighty power of Zatanna's will. Should it falter though, or should her focus be disrupted, it could all come crashing down like a house of cards. Belief is a fragile thing after all, and her powers were weakened for a time after she lost belief in herself.
And she's definitely got one big weak point. She's a huge daddy's girl.
Despite her amazing career, she has struggled within herself to live up to her father's legacy, especially after his heroic death.
And this MFer has died a lot of times. So Z's therapy can't be cheap, especially after dating John Constantine. Oh, I can just smell the lager and self-loathing from here. No, oh wait, that's me.
Questionable romance aside, Zatanna is a consummate professional raised on one singular principle. The show must go on, and she'll always finish strong with a standing ovation. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy.
Relationships are hard and confusing. A lot of us will drop anything to go help someone we care about.
We'll go out of our way to treat other people well, but how often do we do the same for ourselves?
This month, BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to take care of your most important relationship, the one you have with yourself.
Whether you're hitting the gym, making time for your haircut, or even trying therapy, you are your greatest asset. So invest the time and effort into yourself like you do for other people.
BetterHelp is online therapy. The camera
Under 48.
Get to the fight, please.
BetterHelp. All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data
Get to the
all
fight.
possibilities.
It's
That's what we're here
time
for.
a death battle with magic. magic!
Oh, thank you, thank you. And for my first trick, snap on it, ta-da!
You, what sort of two-bit sorceress do you think you are?
2-bit?
Perhaps I was being generous.
Yeah, she's getting tossed.
All part of the show, folks.
Huh?
Bro, huh?
I'd say this calls for an avenger.
Oh.
Do you know the difference between you and I?
Well, I think the difference is presentation. And I know a trick when I see one.
What did she just do?
Universes.
You can't run forever. Now make like a magician.
These niggas playing Elden Ring, magic ass spammers. Fucking summons.
A disappearing act was the first thing Dad ever taught me. And for my final trick, no more witches.
Bro.
And that's our show, ladies and germs.
I figured. Honestly, I figured.
That's a magic.
I figured. I mean, look. I figured, bro. Sheila has the power to like make anything she want like real. I guess it does make sense. I mean, especially because also she is part of DC too. So, I mean, I'm not mad at it. I can kind of see why she
Analyzing this matchup was like walking on a tightrope. It could fall either way at any point.
Because at the end of the day, both these ladies could do basically anything with their magic. All they had to do was think and shit would happen. They were totally even. At her peak, Wanda was able to threaten the stability of all creation.
And at Zatanna's best, she was able to hold back Prolaya, who could do the exact same thing. And despite some differences, the omniversal cosmologies of Marvel and DC Comics are roughly equivalent in size and scope. All that was left for us to look at was their weaknesses.
While both were as powerful as one another, Wanda needed to tap into the life force to reach that pinnacle, and doing so threatened her sanity.
Let's take a closer look at the events surrounding House of M, where Wanda's powers were at their maximum.
Despite admitting that she was
Just
way
making her
stronger,
just
Doctor
yeah,
Strange
literally.
managed to get the best of Wanda with a cool head and a spell that briefly knocked her out cold.
His wits against her mental instability were enough to turn the tide.
To be clear, this instability definitely wouldn't affect her power. She was still strong enough to create a completely new alternate reality and then erase it just as easily. What it would do is leave her open.
Also, take her No More Mutant spell. As insanely powerful as it was to affect the whole of Marvel's creation, it wasn't entirely successful. there was still a tiny portion of Earth's mutant population left unaffected, likely due to interference from Strange and Emma Frost.
Against Zatanna, who is just as strong and not losing her mind, she wouldn't be able to afford that kind of lapse, even for an instant.
On the other hand, Zatanna has managed to maintain her willpower fighting foes just as strong as the Scarlet Witch, so she didn't have the same kind of exploitable weakness.
And remember, she doesn't actually need to say her spells backwards.
It helps with her concentration, but all her spells come from her mental impulses, just like Wanda. She's consistently pulled off non-verbal spells in the past, even against beings as strong as Pralaya.
In the end, Z definitely had enough experience fighting smart and keeping on her toes to hang with Wanda long enough to get in a finishing blow.
While there were definitely versions of this battle that could have ended with Wanda victorious, Zatanna's cooler head and effortless magic allowed her to prevail.
I guess you could say Wanda never saw it coming, and Zatanna maxim offed her.
The winner is Zatanna. Death Battle is back, and we've launched a brand new membership program for our YouTube channel. By directly supporting our team, you'll get unique emotes, badges, and additional content, and a bunch more. Click that join button to see more info, and thanks so much for watching.
Oh my god. Wait, what? Oh, that's why them two though? What do they both got in common? Both swordsmen? Jonathan doesn't have a sword. Some power. Oh, yeah, I guess it's something. You want to sleep, Xeno?
Now I get it. Sun power versus sun breathing.
Yeah, sun power versus sun breathing.